It's a great pleasure to have you join me on your news and current affairs program, Politics Today, that comes live simultaneously on independent television and radio. And as you know, it helps to shape policies and thoughts, opinions of the people in order to bring about a varied government at various levels. And as you know, we always allow discussants to participate, those we have in the studio, and of course, the listeners on independent radio and viewers of independent television to participate as the show progresses. I'm your host, Philip Omo-Gyupon, and we will be discussing the topic on the coronavirus pandemic, NCDC and government regulations. And also we'll look at the $311 million repatriated Abacha loot, recovery and deployment. And starting this discussion with me from my extreme left, I have a seasoned legal practitioner, one-time secretary of NBA Benin branch, and currently a member of the National Executive Committee of the NBA, David Maluko. Thanks for coming, David.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers. Thank you, Philip.
And next, I have an articulate public affairs analyst, a clergyman, and the General Overseer of Sword of Liberation Bible Church, Bishop Austin Igbasan. Thanks for coming, Bishop.
Thank you for having me, and good morning, viewers.
Okay, so starting with you, David Maluko, we have this issue about the NCDC figures coming up. We have this issue about how it has been done and the possible politicization of these figures. What do you have to say? Because at present, we have 3,912 infectious cases in Nigeria, and we have about 679 who have been recovered from the infection, and we have 117 deaths. What are your worries in this direction?
Yeah, thank you. Firstly, let me just quickly say that our style of leadership in this country is it leaves a lot to be desired. Vis-a-vis when we talk now about the records being churned out by the NCDC, the statistics, so to speak, it inspires no confidence in us, the citizenry. We are just being given figures. We are giving figures every day. 11 cases are added, 111 cases new from here and from there. I mean, the whole idea does not seem to stem out the confidence of the citizens in what we are being told. Because we don't have records of these persons. Take, for example, a state like Edo State. If, for instance, you are saying that you have 10 new cases from Edo State, who are the 10 new cases? What are their names? Where do they live? Where do they come from? What is their identity? We don't have such information. We are not being told. We are just only seeing figures. And, you know, in my own estimation, that is not a responsible way of passing information on such a delicate pandemic. I think the NCDC should adopt a more responsible approach, because this issue, if you joke with it, it will give you the deadliest joke of your life. We've seen that the pandemic is not something to be joked with, and to me, and I think to the view of quite a handful of people I've also interacted with in this regard, the NCDC is not responsibly giving us the figures. We would want to have more details of these figures so that we don't joke with it.
Okay.
So for example, if my neighbor is infected that lives behind me, and I have the name, the particulars, and all that, which is this is a time to play down stigmatization.
I was coming.
No, we should play down on that, because we are talking about lives here. We are talking about lives here. So there are some things you do not politicize. There are some things you do not you not joke with. So it's not about. It's not. We are not talking about stigmatization now. We are talking about saving lives and adopting procedures to save lives.
Okay. Bishop Austin Igbasan, you heard what he said, and there is this comment by some Nigerians that, well, give public view of the isolation centers to corroborate the story and figures of the government. Do you fall in line with this?
Now, what I think is that the government is not doing enough. Because when you look at what we are talking about, I think the secrecy behind all these things are too many. Because if there is openness, it will give confidence to the citizenry. Because if you look at the citizens now, most people are not even, they believe that the government is not sincere to them. They believe that the openness is not there, the transparency is not there. And as far as isolation is important for whosoever has contacted this virus,
yes,
I think it is important, just like the barrister have said, that the identity of these persons will not be hidden. And also, as far as the isolation center is concerned, it should be open that people, we have a record of people that even were tested positive and they ran away because they felt that. We have also seen record of people saying, oh, the isolation center is like a leprosy camp, that there is nothing there, there's no care there. We have people who have run away from isolation center. I think that we have come to a stage where these things will be made open for people to know. Some persons didn't believe that this COVID-19 is even real now. There are citizens that didn't believe, that they are still looking at it as a scam. Now, if somebody that is close to you contacted it and you're able to know that Mr. A contacted it and is living behind you, is living in your area, that also go a long way to show to the citizens that what we are talking about, that it is real. I give you an example of Kogi State yesterday, where the governor said, okay, these people that are coming in, you are coming in, we have seen regulation that have to do with burial, we have to do with this. And when it comes to NCDC coming to practicalize this, they can shut down church, they can shut down some gathering, but when it has to do with some things, after the gathering, you will hear that, oh, we are apologizing. We know of Abakari's burial, we know of the CSO to Tinubu's burial, the police and every person, people were there, they were hugging themselves. In the burial of a man that was confirmed COVID-19 patient. And when it comes to other people now, you want to talk of social distance? Now, does it mean that this COVID-19 respect people in authority and does not respect the masses? So when it comes to people in authority, they cannot contact it in their own gathering. But when it comes to the masses, if they are in the market, they can contact it. So the sincerity coming back to come and apologize for what you have given us as an order that you ought to follow. So I think that on one side is talking of not being transparent about it. And we also talk about the solution to the problem. Now, when you don't make it open for people to know that this and these are the people that have contacted this virus, and what are the things to do, I've said it repeatedly, that what are the things that are being done for those who are being discharged? What are the drugs that they have used? We see Bauchi State Governor coming out to say, I used chloroquine and this and that, but it was done because I didn't take a self-medication. I was given this medication and it was I followed it, and this is how I came out. And you see Lagos yesterday, they are now talking of how to do a clinical trial of chloroquine, how they do a mass production. Now, these are things we're supposed to have done, that we have advocated for at the beginning, that we should stop looking for solution elsewhere. Because any solution outside this country will take us to, we will be on queue as a country before we can get our own consignment. And before it will come in here, how many people will contact it? How many people will die? If we can save our people with our local cure to this particular thing, those people that have come at Governor Makinde came out and said, I use Harvard, whatever, Governor of Kaduna State came out, he said, I follow medication. Governor of Bauchi State said, I use chloroquine. Why is the NCDC running away from this thing that is the truth? What is the game behind it that will make us to say, oh, it has not been tried, it has not been done, it has not been done like this? The President of America did the same thing by telling us that chloroquine and mentions of few things will stop us indigenously. The cure for those who have come out. We have the Speaker of Edo State here who said, I follow medication and took some herbs. Then what are the things that those people have done that made them to come out? I think these are areas we should build on. And now, even the ease of the lockdown is not helping the situation. To ease it now, it's not helping the situation. The decision to ease the lockdown at the other time by 1 week, it's not a good decision. And when you look at it now, you see that the figure is skyrocketing on daily basis. That is going on. Many of these people yesterday, you heard in Lagos, how people now change their address, how people don't pick their phone, those who are already tested positive. All of them have gone into oblivion. And what happens to people in the area where they have escaped to? What is the security of those people who never knew their status? And now they are tested positive, they have escaped. What made them to escape? Is it because they don't have confidence in the ability of the government or the sincerity of the government of taking care of them?
Okay, thank you. David Maduko, let's look at this aspect of the testing capacity of the country, looking at the need to increase capacity. Now we have been having sharp growth in cases of infections, and Nigerians are waiting and yearning for a time where the curve will be flattened, where it will seem that, yes, that we are getting close to respite. What do you make of this? Do you see the NCDC approach to this as having a possibility of flattening the curve?
Well, it's quite clear that the testing capacity is quite inadequate. It's not, you don't have to go to Mars to know that. The testing equipment vis-a-vis the population of the country is highly inadequate. It can't go around. You can see the way Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos is he's to be commended for his proactive steps anyway. Okay. But you see the way he's even our governor here, Obaseki too, is also to be commended because he also taking proactive steps compared to some other of their counterparts. So, but what we are saying is that we have this slow snail pace approach to these issues. There are other countries that have been very proactive. For instance, look at a country like Taiwan. Taiwan is very close to China. In fact, Johns Hopkins University did a study in January that said that Taiwan is one of the countries that will be most likely hit in the highest form by this pandemic. But unfortunately, the reverse is the case. I mean, fortunately, the reverse is the case. Yes. So, what magic did they do? Have our leaders been able, just like my Reverend gentleman said, have our leaders been able to look at this, their procedure, the style they use, what they adopted? Now, we are being told that Madagascar has developed a syrup for this, and that they have even exported it to other countries to assist them. Well, our government is not saying anything about it. Now, I'm even going too far. At our backyard here, Ewu, the monastery, they have developed a herbal liquor on this COVID-19, and they've told the government. These are the things that government should jump at. Where is our own homegrown solution? Just like he said, if we are to wait for the West to come and assist us, we'll be on that line for a long time. Why do you even have a government? You have a government so that they can lead us and lead us in the right way. Now, if we continue doing things indigenously on our own, most of the people that have been treated have alluded to the fact of herbs. To me, that is one area the government should have dimmed their searchlight on and say, okay, let us look for a homegrown solution to this issue. Now we have the herbs. They have the double yarrow is there, lime is there, lemon is there, all the ingredients are there. So even if we don't solve it 100%, but we have testimonies.
Okay.
Our speaker is here.
Yeah, yes. Even if we have to go that way, there must be certification of this combination of recipe that you call herbs.
Yes.
Because
yes.
one thing is sure. Like what the developed politics are doing.
Do we keep waiting
there are
that?
Vaccine trials.
Just like they are trying their vaccine,
ways
let us try our herbs.
Seeing if the vaccine trials are going to pull through.
That's what I'm saying. Do we wait for the vaccine trials?
We can also take it in this direction.
Do we wait for the vaccine trials?
Okay.
In waiting, what happens in the intermittent period? We have several other deaths. We have several other
thank you. In case you're just watching us as Politics today, and don't forget that you can join us via our social media platforms. You can stream live also on YouTube and Facebook via youtube.com/ITVRadioNG and also at facebook.com/ITVRadioNG respectively. And we expect that as the calls come, as the show progresses, you'll be civil in your presentation. Now, I'll come back to you, David, but let's quickly tackle this, Bishop Austin Igbasa. The aspect where Kogi State, for instance, we're having issues where the health official, the commissioner, the state government rather, said that they are being pressurized from some alleged quarters that they didn't disclose the quarters behind this conspiracy. that they are being pressurized to declare cases of COVID-19 in the state. Take note, Kogi State is a confluence state. And this is a state through which you go through other states. They are saying that they don't have any case, but testing has not been done in Kogi State. What do you make of this?
What I think is that definitely the governor of Kogi State will have some information that we might not have.
Okay.
Then, as far as it is concerned that they are being pressured, that may not be a lie. I won't agree that it is a lie, that they just formulated it. That
even though we don't know the quarters or what agency or what group is pressurizing.
We don't even need to know the. Well, you see, when a woman gives birth, you don't need. You want to go and greet the woman. You don't need to look for where she take born the baby. Now the baby they important to you. You don't born, you don't born. So we know that there are pressure on them for them to come out and speak. Don't also forget that Kogi State is not an opposition state. So for them to come out and talk, if there is no pressure on them, they wouldn't have spoken anything. I think that while Abakari was alive, he came for the burial of the Kogi State governor. They had a handshake and all that. I think the Kogi governor must have been tested and isolated, and he came out. Now, the man said those who came yesterday, they should be quarantined for 14 days, according to the rule of NCDC. That for us to know your status, we don't have here. Now, I feel that is how a good leader should do to his people. Not just allowing everybody to come. You don't know. Now we see health workers that are being infected, and by coming into your state, they can infect others. We saw the DG protocol having a handshake direct with the NCDC officials that came from Abuja. And the man said, okay, you have to be quarantined for 14 days. Then we know your status. That you are a medical practitioner does not immunize you from COVID-19. Of course, you didn't come with your PPE coming to visit us to say you are protecting yourself. So I think that what the man has done is fighting for his people. He cannot start declaring, because I think that there are a lot of politics behind this. You know, Nigerian politicians, anything that happens, they must use it as an ATM machine.
Okay, but is it not also possible that the governor is not doing enough in terms of screening, like what is going on in Edo State, where across the 18 local governments there is a great effort to screen persons for this virus? Now, if the pressure is on the government, which supposedly that there could be cases that are in Kogi State, but because the testing capacity or the drive of the state government in that direction is not encouraging. Don't you think that's the reason for the pressure?
I think Kogi State have an isolation center.
Okay.
You can't compare Kogi governor to Edo State governor. Okay. You can't compare you can't compare the two of them.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that Obaseki is doing well. You can't compare Obaseki to Yaya Bello. Okay. All of us knew that one. So that's why in terms of performance, you cannot put the two of them side by side. Of course, before they campaigned for him, some of the people that came from other states, they begged the Kogi people that this guy have not done well, just give him second trial. When the child failed, you are allowed to repeat his class. So you can't compare Yaya Bello with Governor Obaseki. Governor Obaseki is proactive. Governor Obaseki has done some things that we can see here and there in hospitals and all the rest of them.
So that could be the reason why there could be pressure for them to go deeply into research.
He has his own isolation center, okay. And I think those who are coming, it is also good that anybody coming. Now, somebody can come and test you for this same COVID-19 and be carrying the same virus. Then you are at risk, you that they are testing. You might not have it. Somebody testing you might be carrying the virus. So I don't disagree with the governor as much as I don't like his performance as a governor. We can't compare him with Governor Obaseki. It's like you are comparing day and night together. The man, Governor Obaseki has a lot of mileage that you cannot compare with Yaya Bello. And he's proactive. He has been able to fix some things in few hospitals and put some things in place. In Kogi State, I'm not sure there's anywhere they're sharing anything as palliative measure. And what the man declares his isolation center, it's only God of heaven that can verify how much was you to build that isolation center. I think even the Prince Charles in in UK will not declare such amount of building an hospital in 9 days. So let us not compare Yaya Bello and Obaseki together, because they are not in the same phylum.
Okay.
You know, I'm not a politician, I'm a statistician, but when something is right, you talk about it. There is proactiveness. You can see that the governor isolated himself, and within the period, some things were going on. There was no stop in the fight against COVID-19, and some steps are taken in that direction for the masses. I feel that the Kogi state is not doing enough, but the man has his own isolation center. But for him to tell those guys, we want to know your status, I think it's also a good thing, because somebody can be coming to help you and give you more problem than what you have.
Okay,
we are seeing doctors testing positive.
David, Bishop Austin just also raised issue about the lockdown, which was later relaxed, and we expected that there will be huge results in the course of the lockdown, which though also can be corroborated with the increase in infections cases that were recorded. But do you see that lockdown as impactful?
The lockdown is necessary, highly necessary. And if you ask me, I see no reason for the rush to relax the lockdown. Yes, we know you have to look at some essential services and some other essential aspects. But I think with due respect, where other much more developed countries are still, under this lockdown, we should not be rushing to say we want to ease the lockdown for any reason.
Okay, but don't forget again, there are also some churches, Pentecostal churches, that are saying that there should be an immediate reopening of the churches.
I totally disagree with that. I totally disagree with that. That is my view, and I'm entitled to it. The truth is this: the world is going digital. We can bear for this time, for the time being. There are some necessary measures that ought to be taken. We are talking of lives here, for crying out loud. We're talking of human lives. So we should bear. We are all going virtual. I'm a lawyer. We have reforms in the legal sector now, where we are into the system of doing virtual court sittings, where you use your appliance, your laptop, your any other appliance.
Which is the new normal.
Yes, which is the new. Which is
the world is going into that.
So even the churches should key into that. Which
some have already started keying into.
And let us observe what is happening. You see, the truth is this: our leadership has some bit of irresponsibility. Sorry to say, but that is the truth. Because when you see, I mentioned Taiwan last time. You know why they are so successful? Because even as early as January, when they were hearing all these rumors from Wuhan, they started taking steps. They closed their borders. They started all these regulations, washing hand distance, and then all that. They started it quite early. But what did we have here? Our Minister of Information came out to say that our airports and our borders will remain open. How can you do that? How can you come and make such a statement at such a time? And what happened shortly thereafter? With all due respect, we have some kind of very irresponsible leaders. For you to come and make such a statement at such a time, other countries were closing their borders, other countries were implementing measures to stem the tide. And you come out and you say, oh, we have open arms to embrace everybody. So we see the leadership, we see some, and like he has said earlier, the burial of late Abakari, we all saw what happened there. How can you, is it Animal Farm? We have all fingers are not equal. So the law is for some and not for some. You said this thing, that this thing should not be done this way. And we saw the crowd.
Okay, thank you. We got a message from Sonny from Airport Road. And Sonny is saying that it's not only Kogi State that is under pressure. Cross River State is still under pressure. The difference is that the Cross River State governor is a prof. Well, I think you comment on that, and also look at the aspect where Pentecostal churches are coming out to say that churches should be reopened, just as other segments of the economy is being reopened.
Yeah, what I feel is that I wasn't part of that. I was not privy to that discussion, but what I heard is reopening of the church. I think doing that for now might be because of what I have said, that if we are really shutting down, we should shut down. Now, you can see that even in borders, cross-border, you see Governor El-Rufai yesterday climbing some truck to check, because some of those trucks that are carrying essential services cow and all the rest of them, human beings are piled up. You can see the report of River State, where almost 500 persons were inside a 40-feet tank. Now look at the issue of J2, of where we had a lot of people coming from the north and migrating. Some of them were arrested and said, oh, we are looking for greener pasture. I think that what might have sparked that might be the insincerity of the government in maintaining these things. So to say, I mentioned 2 burials now that had to do with big politicians. And people were flooded in that place. Even police officers in the CSO of Asiwaju Tinubu, they were all there. And all those policemen today, none of them were tested, even after the burial. What kind of danger has that one now protect for our nation? For those who attend that burial, and they were hugging themselves, the masses, the crowd that was there, and all of them have returned home now. Nobody knows their status. I think that the church might be doing that one because of, they are looking at the insincerity of the government and being partial about it, that when it has to do with political gathering, when it has to do with politician gathering, this issue is being relaxed. When it comes to spiritual situations, it's now being said the church should be shut down. But to me personally, this is my own opinion. My own opinion is that we need to be alive to go to church. We need to be alive. If we are not alive, we can't attend church.
So government regulation on that should be sustained.
Is that
what you're saying?
The government
regulation on that should be sustained.
Yes, I also want the lockdown to be extended, because we are not, the result of this is very, very
When
deadly.
you say you want the lockdown to be extended, are you talking about total lockdown?
Yes, total lockdown.
Okay, but
That
are you forgetting the resources that are scarce to take care of the vulnerables?
Now, when you have mass death, will you prefer that one? You know, Nigeria is a country that we believe that the more people die, the more resources will go around for the rest people that are alive. If it's the country that value their people, like the barrister have said, all of us shouted at the beginning that the border should be shut down, all measures should be put in place.
Okay.
But these things were relaxed because of some politicians that were outside the country. If it is a country that care about its citizens, let's shut those who are having their meetings there and let us protect the masses here. When they are true, after we must have gotten our result, we open our border.
Thank you, Bishop Austin Igbasan, for taking our time, and big thanks to you, David Maduko. But before I allow you go on this discussion, let's look at the aspect of the $311 million repatriated loot of the former head of state, Abacha, and the recovery by the government and also his deployment. The government did say that majorly this money will be spent on the Kano, Lagos, the Ibadan, Lagos Expressway, and of course the Niger Bridge. But there are so much issues emanating from this. Some for reasons tailing towards lacking confidence and transparency of the government, as saying that this could not be used for the betterment of the people. What do you make of this, David?
Yes, you said the channel into the second Niger Bridge, and what other projects?
The Kano, Abuja, Lagos Road,
yes,
and the Ibadan Express.
Yes, and my question is, were monies not appropriated for those projects before? Were they not included in former budgets?
If the monies were appropriated,
yes,
was it not possible that the monies were not for the completion?
No, sir.
Like they said, this is for the completion.
No. See, this is what kills us in this country. I ask a direct question. When you are appropriating for budget, were these things not earmarked for before now? I think that we should start from those questions, because you see, we must have responsibility in governance. And we don't, you see, in Nigeria, you don't always need to give us story and sing a song for us to dance to. Were these things not budgeted for before now? If they were not, then we can move the next step. But if they were, what happened to that? Because you see, these are major projects, major capital projects.
So there should be an overhaul, monitoring of the monies budgeted previously.
Exactly.
Before deploying this.
Loot should be like a windfall for us. Not for us now budgeting it for capital expenditure, or projects that ought to have been covered before now.
The Abacha loot should be like a windfall for us.
It should be like a windfall.
That we shared among the tiers of
government. No, I'm not talking about the...
kept in the Sovereign Fund.
Yes. Now, we know what Obasanjo did when he was there. We know how he was able to make us wipe our foreign debts. Which other leader after Obasanjo has done that? If we get all this loot, and put it into our foreign reserve, would that be bad? As a responsible country, we are supposed to have budgeted for these things and even, conducted some of these capital projects up to an extent. If you are using the word for the completion of, then we are sure. But now you are budgeting it for those projects.
That's what the report showed, for the completion of.
The government is made up of the three arms. And unfortunately, I see a lot of failures from the government itself. Because even if the executive is telling us this, the legislature, you are there to make our laws. You are supposed to act as a check and balance on the executive arm. What have you asked the executive? What have you done? Are you just a willing plaything to the executive? Every time they make a statement and you just play along? That is why we have them in government. That's why we have them as our representatives.
They shouldn't act like a constraint.
Ask questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Fundamental questions.
I take that as your conclusion on this court.
So, our government to sit up.
Okay, thank you.
We need to build more confidence in it.
Let's take a bite as we round off on this.
I think that the government is not sincere. Don't forget that this Abacha loot, a particular government moved in to say this man looted money and we want so country to help us recover it. So, but the present government today, you remember our president also believed that Abacha is not a corrupt person. So if this money eventually did not surface or do something that we can fall back to, we don't have anybody. If somebody says you are not a thief, and those people that you stole their things, now say, see where he kept them with the returner, it might also go the same way. If the masses themselves did not stand to monitor this, because this is not the first batch that has come. And is the government sincere enough to be able to tell us this is how this money has been disbursed? I expected the country that are returning it to help us get another foreign audit firm who will help us. Because we don't forget that this money is coming now. Those who push for this money are no more in government.
But the government again also said that the civil society organization should sincerely monitor this. And looking at that, don't you see some transparency on the part of government?
Civil society organizations are here when our fuel, when oil is nosediving and fuel left 85 to 140 something. Those people that shot Ojota down that time, have they all died? So leave civil society organization.
They don't even have the power.
They don't even have the power. What I feel is that if the government is sincere, even the country that is repatriating the money should help us, because the money will still go back to the same way. What has happened to it in the first time is still going to be the merry-go-round. Okay. And I think that the masses can only talk. When you talk to a responsible government, they respond. But there are governments that look at the other side. If you like, shout and shout. When you shout and you are tired of shouting, other problem will happen. Then you forget that one. That is the way Nigeria behaves. Our leaders know that when you are shouting of a particular thing, keep quiet. Don't just mind Nigeria. Another problem will happen tomorrow. They will forget that day before yesterday own. We'll be talking of that. You are talking of Abacha loot. What of the loot that this government said they have collected from politicians of yesterday government? Where are those loot? What have they used those loot to do? How are we being able to to hear that, oh, we use this one as a express road? Oh, this money we recover from Chief so during so regime. We have used it to do flyover. Oh, Fort Milan Bridge. This is what we are using the money.
Thank you.
So where are those money that are recovered?
Thank you.
It's going the same merry-go-round, and that is the same way this Abacha loot is going to go. It's not a prayer point.
Thank you, Bishop Austin Igbasa, for being a part of the show.
Thank you so
much. Big thanks, David Maluko.
You're welcome.
We'll be extending the frontiers of this discussion after this break. Do stay.
The first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself. And one of the most important weapons in changing yourself is to recognize that people everywhere in the world want peace.
Independent television is live 24 hours on Govt TV, channel 107, Star Times, channel 130. You can watch from any part of the world on Roku TV, Smart TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Android TV for your favorite programs, news, current affairs, and lots more. You don't want to miss our objective and balanced reportage, entertainment, and sports. Now follow us via our social media channels on Twitter at ITV Radio NG. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ITV Radio NG. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/ITV Radio NG. Visit our website for more news stories and lots more. ITVRadioNigeria.com. Watch ITV via live streaming on the internet. ITVRadioNigeria.com/live and click on the TV stream option. Also remember to visit your mobile app store and download the ITV app so you can watch on the go. For advert placement and commercials, call the following numbers: 0805 563 8573, 0803 775 5024, 0708 365 2800, and 0708 365 2474. Independent television, certainly the best.
Yes, I've just been joined by the constitutional lawyer and notary public of Nigeria and former SSA to Edo State Governor on legal matters, Barrister Adams Aliyu. Thanks for coming, Adams.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good day, viewers.
So, how have you been coping in spite of the pandemic? We hear about regulations about government, the lockdown, interstate lockdown, and issues about the NCDC figures. What are your worries in this direction, if you have?
Yes, my worries are twofold. One, on the part of governments, they should mobilize NCDC more in order to set up more testing venues. Give them the paraphernalia to work with more than now. And publicize, and if possible, over-publicize the activities of the NCDC so that people can come out and protest. Most importantly, too, the NCDC, on the other hand, should let us know its own position, what it can do, what it cannot do. We are told that this COVID-19 has no cure. That's what they are singing with. But we now hear that a WHO monastery has invented a cure.
We should be giving it a try?
Well, but then they should come out to say there's not fair. But where I'm worried.
Are you saying that government should give it a try? Because we have some vaccine trials in developed policies. Now, must we always wait to get what they later develop as a recipe from developed countries? Can't we also fall back on our yes, and do something? Way. So what's your advice in that?
NCDC will test somebody today as positive, quarantine the person. After 14 days, we hear the person is now negative. It means that the NCDC or the people, they have a cure. But we are told generally. It
means they have a cure? Is it not also possible that these persons, their immunity overwhelmed the virus? Because we hear about reports that there are no very strict senso treatments in isolation centers.
And that somebody will be positive today, next week he will now be negative. So I think it's deceitful, and they should come out to say if they can cure it, they have what they use to make people leave the isolation center, go intermingle, but let them say so. So people are afraid. Somebody who is positive today, next week is not negative.
Okay, but again, the government, like what a lot of people say, that the government is not encouraging the indigenous traditional medicines to be used.
I've always had my fears about this traditional medicine, as it were. Some believe in astrology, study the stars. Some believe in herbs and all that. Those ones have no scientific proof. I don't believe in it. Many of them, even the traditionalists, native doctors, they are makeshift occupations, we are not aware that they went for formal training to qualify them for what they are doing. We just hear that one man in one speech is now a native doctor. He can raise a dead person from the grave. He can cure this and that.
So it has no basis for giving a chance.
It cannot be proved.
Is that what you're saying? It has no basis to be given a chance.
It has no basis to be given a chance. We don't. It takes a lot of scientific.
So are you saying that we should continuously rely on the developed countries in this regard?
Yes, we rely on developed countries. They take time. The GSL we are using now took 20, 30 years. The aeroplane that is flying took people years. Individuals, herbalists here and there are searching that he now has the prophylactic and cure of a disease that has just come up. We are not aware of the supernatural beings. We are not aware of the medical training. My vision, I think it may not be in good faith. I would think wait.
Okay, there are also reports that the government isolation centers, they are not really taking care of the cases there, and that most times all of this abandonment of the cases there of victims in the isolation centers really came up to a point where we are having some escapees who think they can't get care from the government isolation centers. What do you make of this?
When you are hospitalized, you are left the comfort of your home. You should not expect everything to be normal. But Nigerians, many people are used to complaining. Why? If you are quarantined, you should be ready to encounter some encumbrances. So this is how I see, because if you are sick even in the hospital, the best hospital in the world, you are denying some privileges. So people should exercise some restraint, go for treatment, you are being quarantined, suffer some encumbrances for some time. The end justifies the means. When you be well, it is okay. I don't expect the quarantine and isolation center to be more comfortable than the home of the patient.
Some are saying that government is not providing PPEs to health workers. And as a result of that, health workers are even afraid to approach these sick people who have the virus in isolation centers. Could that be also the reason why we're having a setback and a huge rise in death cases, like as we have today, 117? What do you make of that?
It's not providing
enough PPEs, personal protective equipment for health workers, which has made a lot of doctors, health workers to be infested. We have over 90 cases at present in Nigeria.
Under the Minister of Health for the country or the Commissioner of Health in the state. This is a challenge. The health administrators, ministers, doctors, allied workers, it's a challenge for them. They should rise up to it. And in an emergency case like that, the money is there. The government should really flood the place with hospital equipment. You cannot work with bare hands. I'm surprised if some hospitals don't have the equipment. It's like I read financially today in newspaper Vanguard that there's a police station in Delta State, no single gun, and no Delta.
That's laughable.
Not one single gun in the police station.
Is that possible?
The front page today's Vanguard, and you have kidnappers, armed robbers everywhere, without exception to the Delta. So
that questions the responsiveness of the government in this direction.
They should equip the workers. You don't fight a disease, a sickness, the lion with bare hands. So it's a call, a clarion call on the government.
Okay.
Flood the place with medical equipment so that the health workers cannot go to battlefield unarmed.
Thank you, Adam Saliu. Well, it's COVID-19 pandemic we're discussing on the NCDC and government regulations, and I've been having a chat with a constitutional lawyer, not Republic of Nigeria, and former SSA on legal matters to the state governor here in Edo State, Adam Saliu. And again, we'll look at the need to also get calls from our listeners on independent radio. The number to call, I believe, will be on the screen shortly, 052-290-573, if I'm correct on that, 052-290-573. And also our distinguished viewers, call us, ensure you are civil in your presentation. Now, let's look at the evacuees from UK. Yeah. Now, we've had a first batch which arrived Lagos and onward to Abuja for quarantine. Now, the government is quite having a very, very precarious situation where we are saying that most of the isolation centers have been overblown. And then we are having evacuees. Do you see the capacity of government to handle both?
Government is like an elephant. It has the ability and capability. You know, whenever you go out on holidays, temporary stay, even to study and work, there's no place like home. So I'm not surprised that over 230 evacuees came from UK yesterday. Many came from the United Arab Empire, Dubai, a couple of days ago. So these people are happy to go back to base. Now there's no place like home. That is why there's a government. Section 14 sub 2 of the Constitution says that security and welfare, both of them are the paramount aims of government. So government should resettle and rehabilitate these people, at least get them integrated before they find their feet.
Okay, thank you. I'll come back to you. It appears we have a call. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name, your location, and contribute. Good morning.
Good morning, presenter.
Morning. What's your name?
Good morning.
Good morning. We can hear you. What's your name, please, and location?
My name is St. Peter Erekuse, and I'm calling from Ugo area in Benin City.
Go ahead, Peters.
I want to make my comments on the repatriated $311 million Abacha route and the COVID-19 situation in Nigeria. First of all, it beats the mind of the reasonable man that money that should have been used for a new project or a reasonable thing that we can point to that this is what the money was used for. We are referring it to a project that money has been budgeted for. Is it that money that was budgeted for that second Niger bridge and the rest? Is it budget money to build it, uncompleted building? Was money not budgeted to complete it? That's my question. This government has to be sincere with us. Then on the COVID-19 situation in Nigeria, where I'm not going to trade blame, it's just to call on all Nigerians. I won't say let's join us together now because, but I will say let's work hand in hand and work together, observe the rules of the government so that this COVID-19 will not spread up. The government too have to be sincere to its citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peters, for calling. Well, I think Peter just brought that in because we had a discussion on the $311 million repatriated fund. Well, what's your comment, like what Peter said?
What people don't know is that both the sending states, that is the US, and Nigeria, the receiving states, and many other nation states, they are all parties to the United Nations Charter, which was signed in San Francisco in 1945 for the harmonization of welfare international relationship. We are both signatories too to the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, signed in Vienna, Austria in April 1961. Tafawa Balewa was signed for Nigeria at that time. So, international relations, international politics and diplomacy is bilateral and multilateral.
But the question here is...
They gave us money.
What are you deploying it for? Now, projects that have already been budgeted for.
Yes.
We have the Kano, Abuja, Lagos. We have the Ibadan, Lagos Expressway, Niger Bridge. What happened to the monies budgeted for these projects?
The money will come. And in fact, it was approved in February.
But some say that, is it not a sensible thing to do? To overhaul what money have been spent so far and monitor that before adding to this? Wouldn't it be too much to chew for the government?
The money was only released, the Abacha loot, was only released in the US on 8th of May.
Okay, thank you. I'll pause you there. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Tell us your name and location and contribute. Hello, good morning. Can you tell us your name, please?
Good morning, Mr. Wilson. I'm calling from GRA.
Your name?
Mr. Paul is calling from GRA.
Godwin from GRA. Okay, go ahead with your contribution, Godwin, quickly.
I have a suggestion. We are former slaves and will ever remain the slave. Nigeria should be sold for China or our former mother, which is the Victoria, who gave birth to us. We are not ready. In this trying time, the government are not making any move regarding to how to reach out of the people about this COVID-19. Now they're talking about virtual loot. That money will go into private pocket and find his way back to Switch, London, US. At the end of the day, no question will be asked. First of all, when this government came in, they recovered so much money in the Kogi. Where is that money? Mr. Wilson, where is that money? Where is it? Which bank is it? Which account is that money? What is wrong with us? What is wrong with ourselves here? Well, after all, let me end with this. Nigeria is a country that has been left for God. So let's leave it for God.
Thank you, Mr. Godwin.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. A point of correction, I'm not Wilson, I'm Philip. Thank you for that. Okay, now you heard what he said.
As I was saying,
Yeah.
the parties involved were all parties to the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations and the United Nations. When Nigeria proposed how it wants to spend this money, second Niger Bridge, Lagos Ibadan Expressway.
Okay, I'll pause you again, please.
So,
Hello, good morning. Tell us your name and location quickly.
Also known as Open Secret, the radio professor and the ESFA ambassador to the whole world, including independent radio and television.
Open secret, that's what I got. Good morning, thanks for calling. What's your contribution?
Yes, my contribution is on the issue that the barrister said there, that he doesn't believe in our traditional medicine, that they are makeshift occupation. I think we deserve an apology for that. Because I believe the barrister is...
Well, Open Secret, and he has other affiliates, names on that. I think you got that. Good morning. That's our last caller for today.
Bishop Esau from Sabumida.
Oh, Bishop Esau, thanks for pulling through as our last caller for today. What is your contribution, please?
I think all of you, I think your best there. Now, one thing I want to make people know is that there's a difference between native doctor and herbalist. The herbalists, they are the traditional doctors we have. And I think they are licensed to operate in Nigeria. And that's why their herbs, they even have NAFDAC approved numbers assigned to them. So this era of COVID-19, what we have expected, that the good people of Nigeria, our leaders, will have called these medical doctors together and tell them to provide solution to this COVID-19. Just like Madagascar did. I think it's not a bad thing for our government to accept them and ensure that they accept the validity of their work. I would say that one. The Abacha loot, for goodness sake, this is not the first time money has been retrieved from Abacha. Once, twice, thrice. I think it should be the fourth time, if I'm not mistaken. The other one, they said they use them for trader money. What do they call it again? Free program. All these things, to me, they are just waste.
Thank you.
This money.
Okay, thank you.
Develop our infrastructure.
Thank you, Bishop Esau. Thank you, Bishop Esau. You've made your point clear. Thank you. Thank you for your call. Go ahead. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we must emphasize that civil presentation is important, and if you must contribute, please ensure you are very, very civil in your presentation. One of our callers made some ill comments about the government. We sincerely apologize for that caller, and note that every opinion shared here are the opinions of the makers and not that of independent television and radio. Okay, back to you,
yes,
Adam Sadi.
The point I was making is that Nigeria suggested the avenues to use this returned money. Niger Bridge, Lagos Ibadan Expressway, Abuja Kano Road. And America agreed that we will come to supervise this as an oversight function. President Trump is not coming to use the Niger Bridge or Lagos Ibadan Expressway. So it is for the welfare of Nigerians. But now some critics, some Nigerians are thinking they should come and organize a referendum or plebiscite to say money has come. Oh, how do we use this money? Local government council should come and suggest. No. We have a law, dictum in law, pacta sunt servanda. Agreement must be obeyed. The parties, receiving state and the sending state, agreed on how it should be used. So now that it has come, and the venues for them to profit from it, because Ibadan is a very busy.
Okay, thank you.
So it is not wrong to use it in Abuja.
At least for the completion of those projects. Thank you, Adams. Thank you, Adams. Thank you for taking our time to be part of this show. I really appreciate your coming. Big thanks to our listeners on Independent Radio and, of course, our viewers on Independent Television. Thanks to Peter's Open Secret and, of course, Bishop Iso for pulling it through on this program. Well, we'll do this again same time next week. On behalf of the Theatre production team that made this edition a success, I'm Philip Omo Gupon, and I'm saying goodbye and have a beautiful weekend.